All right, so welcome to CPS, my story. Um, this channel uh, is inspired by two people. One, my son, because I want my son to know uh, when the time comes that I love him, and also that he's important to me, and uh, and I miss him. The other one that uh, inspired this was Mitch Smiley from Hard Intentions. If you ain't up on Mitch Smiley and Hard Intentions, go to that channel in YouTube, Hard Intentions. Uh, he's one of the most authentic individuals I've ever met. Uh, Super cool dude, and uh, he's got a story, and so uh, if you have not seen any of his stuff, I totally advise you to go do that now. But anyways, and I want to give out a shout out to Mitch. He don't know that I am uh, doing this, but I do want to give a shout out to him. Uh, he's a pretty good dude, and I consider a good friend. Uh, so you know, CPS, my story. What's that about? Well, it's about everything that ever happened in my situation, from when my son was first born to detention hearing, jurisdiction hearing, uh, from the initial investigation to um, status hearings and uh, case plans and just everything, lawyers, everything uh, that I went through, and you know the struggles that it was, and the situations that unfolded, uh, and such. I thought about this, and so I'm not going to say any last names or anything like that because I'm not trying to expose anybody or come off. My intentions are just to be uh, real about the situations at hand, um, how they unfolded, what transpired, uh, and the result of some of my uh, stupidity at times. Uh, so, um, this is my first video, and it's awkward for me, and I just want to, get that out of the way. I know as time goes on, I'll get more comfortable uh, talking about it, and it'll probably be more fluent. Uh, but just bear with me, because I'm just getting started, and there's so much to unwrap, so to speak. But I'm not going to give out last names, and some of the family members, I won't. I'll give an initial or something to that effect. But there are other. So the CPS, the lawyers, the judges. Uh, I'm going to just give the first names. Judge, uh, caseworker. The and such, like my son's lawyer, whatever it is, my lawyer. I'm not, so I feel I don't even want to say my lawyer's name, and I'm not going to say my lawyer's name only because uh, they're practicing law stuff. I'm not trying to. However, on one of the lawyers, I did pass. I mean, I did file from to the bar. What I felt was detrimental to my. I mean, I let the bar know that there was a investigation, and the bar found that he was in line. So, but uh, there were times when I was so combative, and looking back, I really wish that I could have. Uh, I don't want to say tried harder because I mean, I did the best that I could, but it was my thinking. It was my thinking, and that's what, and my behavior, and so that's another thing. I if I could help, any father going through these situations, uh, I hope that you take heed because uh, there is a lot of shit to unravel, and uh, you know uh, anyways, so uh, I'm gonna try to not bash anybody. That's not my intentions. I'm not. There is still uh, anger in me. Yeah. There's pain in me. Yeah. Um, there's regret, and you know my situation with the courts and CPS lasted for about 9 years, and generally speaking, if they if when these types of cases, from the investigations to a detention hearing to jurisdiction and all that, these types of situations, they have to be done within a certain amount of time, and they like to generally uh, wrap up a case. Either it's going to be reunification or termination of parental rights. They try to do that as quickly as possible, especially if the kid was born into child services custody. Uh, so they try to wrap it up within, I think, 2 years, and then if your parental rights are terminated, they wait until the appeals go through, and then once that's done and been decided, it's over. And so that's been my case. Uh, my kid now is 11 years old, and I haven't seen him since he was 9. So I miss him. I love him, and uh, I will also say that he is uh, living with his aunt, and I'll get into the story about the aunt later on as it unfolds. But um, she won't let me see him. Absolutely not. The mother can't even see our son. Now, there's all kinds of reasons why, uh, and you'll eventually understand uh, the situation as it unfolds. But so I say this: um, it's been a long time. That case lasted 9 years, and the reason why it did is because there were so many wrongdoings and mistakes. I will say this, that if you go to the first hearing, the detention hearing, and uh, you know, by that time at that detention hearing, the investigators have already made the determination of what they're going to do, what what the game plan is, and so uh, they pretty much formulate everything. So at the hearing, uh, they just try to quickly get it over with. And as a parent, I will say this, that going through that time is emotional. Uh, it is strictly uh, taxing because you're scared. You're dealing with entities that have a lot of power, and your life and your son and your relationship are all in the balance. And so, and in any type of, I'm sorry if I get lost with my words. Just know this, that uh, 2 years ago, I had a stroke, and they made a laceration to relieve and get, I had a what do you call it when the brain don't get the fucking, blood in the head, blood clots. And they got rid of that. So, and it was, and I was working at that time, and so, but my cognitive uh, is a little slow, and some of my movements in my mouth and stuff might look awkward, stuff like that. But today, I'm good, and I'm doing good, physically. So with that being said, okay, so I say that because I wanted to let you know and be aware that I'm not at the capacity that I was not even 2 years, 3 years ago. So I was quick, I was witty, I was always you know uh, good at just communicating and firing back with whatever whether it be you know kindness or you know fear. Uh, I was just always fuck. I say a lot of this stuff, and I say it with shame, and regret, so that's and I'm dealing with that, and so you know just just know that I'm good, uh, and I do want my son to know that here's the thing. When I had that stroke and I'm sitting in the hospital, uh, I couldn't really walk, and I couldn't really talk, and I made a plea to my Kate. Okay, I made a plea to the aunt who has my son, and asking, can I see my son? I'm in the hospital. I had a stroke. At that time, there wasn't really no uh, knowing what was gonna unfold. So, and I was scared, and I wanted to see my son. Well, that never happened. I let the CPS worker know uh, as well, and their response was, well, it all depends on the parents, so, and that hurts, that, and so, uh, and I already know that I'm not going to see him, so that is another motivation, too, of why this channel because I know at a certain point he will come looking for me. And I do want to leave this video, CPS, my story, uh, all of them for him. These are for him. You know, I'm not looking for subscribers. I know, the YouTube channel thing, and that's not my motivation. I don't want views. I don't want none of that. All I want is to leave this to my son, and that's the motivation. And I pray that he will find these videos. So that's the motivation. Also, to the inspiration to do it, like I said, Mitch Smiley, Hard Intentions. Check him out. You know, uh, he tells the story. He went to prison for 38 years, I think it was. You know, and he is a very humble man. So and so, but when I met him, uh, I instantly recognized, authentic shit, and so, and it was watching his videos and telling his stories that really inspired me to do this, because I have written some journals to my son, but there's nothing like looking at a video of your dad telling the story of what happened. So that's where I'm going. All right, so like I said, I'm not going to use names like last names. I will use some of the family's first names, and I will, but and you know, I don't. I kind of want to refrain from the lawyer names, because I will just say, like, the CPS attorney, my son's attorney, Chelsea's attorney, and my attorney. And then the judge. Uh, so let's get that away. Also, too, I'm not trying to hurt, slander anybody, and it's possible that some of the family members might take offense, but I'm trying the best that I know how to not expose, the real deal kind of shit. I mean, I want to be front and up front, but like I'm not trying to put it in such a way, you know. Uh, a lot of the stuff was malicious, intentionally, uh, and I got angry for sure. Uh, but these videos, I view it as like educational purposes. Uh, it's just me telling my story, and there's something in it, and there's something that could be, drawn out and people can relate to or whatever. So another part of this is that, I want, if you're a father, and you're dealing with the CPS case, and uh, do everything that you can to try to, get CPS on your side. I'm going to tell you my own personal feelings is that they're not your friends. Uh, they portray themselves in such a way as, especially the investigators and the workers, they take information and use it against you. I'll give you just like an example. Uh, they asked me, like, so, um, do you do drugs? No. Have you ever done drugs? Um, when I was younger, I think I smoked some marijuana, but, it made me feel nauseous and, you know, kind of dizzy and, you know, uh, and such. I would say, I don't use drugs, and there's been times when I have though, but I never told that to CPS. Uh, I'm from the school of don't volunteer information, but if you get asked a direct question, try to be as truthful as you can, because I know with like with family members, and for me, I always felt like lawyers and doctors, you got to tell them everything, because uh, they're the ones that are going to see you through it, right? But then I have a lot of friends, who I've just because I feel the way that I feel, that don't mean that they do, and so I try to be truthful as much as possible. But I mean, when when I first meet somebody, okay, I gotta say this. In 1987, I went to prison. Uh, I got a D number. Uh, I got sentenced to 3 years, and I did it all. I lost my good time, and I was a fool. But it was in that environment where a lot of my behaviors were solidified. Uh, what I thought was a man. Uh, you know, that when you're in prison and you're with a bunch of men, uh, there's a lot of attitude. There's a lot of you just know, and during that time too, like in '87, uh, it was a lot different prison than in what it became today. So there was that thing going on. But I was instilled with a lot of fucking false beliefs. On what I thought a man was. You know, if you are fighting fire with fire, I mean that's what I did. I fought fire with fire. But as I got older, I realized that water works just as well. So uh, it's an attitude. It's a way of life. It is ingrained in you. And from the county jail to prison, you get gamed up pretty quick. Uh, so, and a lot of that shit, like loyalty, I believe in. You know, I believe in relationships. Uh, with other men. I've had good relationships with people that I've met in prison that I still have today. So, uh, and we're out. You know. But then there have been some homeboys that have caused a lot of harm, you know, and but I'm kind of just giving you like the gist of this stuff because, you know, as as these situations unfold, you'll get to understand, what I was thinking. I was in a war, and they were trying to take my kid, and I was going to do anything and everything that I could do to make sure that I got my kid. Uh, and it was taxing, very emotional, uh, and just ups and downs and all the whole thing. Um, but so, okay, okay, so this is the whole gist of this channel, okay? I want to get into the, just to give you the rundown of what my intentions are, what I'm doing. Uh, and so I'm going to end this right now, but I want you to know that I'll come with another video here pretty quick, and but I gotta line this shit up, format it to where, Because like all this right now, this was just me ad-libbing my thoughts. Uh, but what I plan on doing is right now, each, situation, and try to just, try to jar the mind and bring back some memories and just, the whole thing, because there's a lot there to unpack. So I want to close this video for now. Uh, and so, Caden, that's my son's name, Caden. I love you. I miss you, buddy. I miss you so much, and I want to let you know that, uh, and that will never go away. There's a pain and a hole, and I pray today when you reach out and try to find me, you know, and you're probably gonna have to do it on your own because I don't, I know that they're not gonna involve, I've written you letters and you won't get them. Uh, and that's just the type of people that I'm dealing with. Uh, so, Caden, I love you, buddy. Just know that, I pray the day. And so, and then everybody else, thank you for just listening and bearing with me and everything. I appreciate it. And like I said, this channel, I don't want views. I don't want, subscribers. I don't want, if you want to hit like the, notification button or whatever, so you can get notified when I'm sending another video for about Caden and CPS and my story and all that. I can deal with that. But like, I'm not looking for any type of money type of situation. I'm not looking for none of that shit. This is just me, raw and uncut, talking about my son. So, uh, and the experiences. It's like I said, it's painful. It still hurts. Uh, but I know this will be beneficial for me. I realize that even just talking in the journals that I've written to my son, has helped me. Uh, Got to remember, I had a lot of resentful, angry feelings. Uh, Even though that anger is kind of still there, it's not like in the front of my mind just eating me alive. I was able to like get past it. It hurts still, yeah, but you know, and so if there are anybody out there, going through these situations, and if you're angry, and if you lose your son, I recommend, doing your own little videos for, to leave to your son, because really, you know, as a father, I look at it like, what else can we do? We don't have no parental rights. We don't have people, helping us in any kind of way. Once the parental rights are terminated, it's over. It's a done deal. So, and there, so what we do have is each other. And that's what I'm realizing, And so hopefully, you know, like I said, as these stories unfold, you'll get to, you're going to get to know some of the, detention hearing, jurisdiction, status reports. These are all hearings. They're all hearings that happen, uh, and they come with reports, you know, and and after the hearing, there is, I think, a 45-day period where you can appeal the hearing. But if you don't appeal any hearing at any time, you can't go back. Once the case is over, you can't go back. So I'll get into that. I'll get into all of that, So, but just know that, you know, uh, I want to be there for all the fathers, and I hope that it can bring, my anger and the situations could, help you. Don't be hostile. Don't. try to be as calmly as possible, and direct. Anyways, with that out, uh, Mitch Smiley, Heart Intentions, I give a shout out to you and thank you for inspiring me. Caden, I love you, buddy, and this is for you.